Thank you, Chairman Schuler, and I'd like to thank you and Ranking Member Fortenberry by not using the usual recording of Rocky Top and the Nebraska fight song to begin the hearing. We all appreciate that. I would also like to thank Julie Weideman, a constituent from my district and Director of Palmer Home Medical Supply, for taking the time from her busy life to come to Washington, D.C. to testify before the Small Business Subcommittee on Rural and Urban Entrepreneurship on this important issue. I grew up in rural America, and I represent a large district that has many, many rural communities in it. And that's why this issue is so important to my constituents back in the 1st District of Iowa. In 2003, Congress passed the Medicare Modernization Act, which required the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to launch the Durable Medical Equipment, Prosthetics, Orthotics, and Supplies Competitive Bidding Program. While on the surface this may seem like a good idea, there is evidence that it could have devastating impact on DME POS industries. Companies currently receive a government-set fee to distribute durable medical equipment for patient home use. Under the competitive bidding system, however, companies would have to submit a bid indicating how low of a price they would be willing to accept. Medicare would then limit distribution rights in a particular geographic area to the lowest bidders. In 2007, the DME POS competitive bidding program started in the 10 largest metropolitan statistical areas, and in 2009 it is scheduled to be expanded to the largest 80 MSAs. I have many concerns about this competitive bidding process. This year I joined many of my colleagues in sending a letter to CMS. In this letter, we expressed concerns with the level of small business participation in the competitive bidding program. Even the small businesses who are awarded contracts will be challenged to conduct business at reduced reimbursement rates because they cannot compete with large companies that have economies of scale. Also, there are many bidders that have been rejected by CMS on claims they had not submitted sufficient financial information or they had made other minor errors on their applications. Although these rejected bidders have made claims that have evidence to the contrary, they have no appeal rights, which seems contrary to our nation's fundamental premise of due process. Furthermore, the program requires supplier accreditation for those participating in this program. This can create significant administrative and financial burdens on small suppliers and pharmacies. Many of these suppliers and pharmacies are already required to have a number of accreditations for providing care. The biggest concern I have, however, regarding CMS's proposal is that it could put small providers like Palmer Medical Supply out of business. Palmer Home Medical Supply currently serves 10 counties in rural northeast Iowa, and almost half of their business involves Medicare beneficiaries. The potential loss of suppliers could threaten these rural areas, which are more likely to have elderly populations, including the fact that Iowa has one of the highest levels of elderly populations per capita of any state in the country. It is essential that our communities continue to have access to high quality and great service from these small business providers. I understand that the intent of the DME competitive bidding program is to provide cost savings for the Medicare program and its beneficiaries, and we all appreciate those efforts. But we need to ensure that beneficiary access, quality of care, and small businesses are not harmed by this program. The CMS competitive bidding for durable medical equipment project leaves too many questions unanswered. We need to take a step back to think about the true impact this project would have on the small providers and ultimately on the communities where they reside. It's important to explore whether there are rational alternatives to determining Medicare pricing for DME items and service. There are too many indications that the current bidding system is flawed. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses today, and I'm hopeful that we can come up with a solution for Medicare reimbursement that does not pose so many potential risks for the providers and the patients they serve. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all the witnesses who've come so far to be with us today. And I yield back.